It is time to get started. Hey, welcome to AtTheTrack.live. My name is Coach James. I am the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics? Glad you asked, even if you didn't ask. All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics-related topics, including, but not limited to, aerodynamics, drag, lift, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, elastic energy, elastic force, potential energy, kinetic energy, all kinds of science topics. After we have learned the science, after we've conducted experiments to drive home those concepts, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student has the opportunity to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything they've learned in the course. Then, after they've picked their car, they've examined their car, they weigh their car, they test the speed of their car, they document the year the car was manufactured. All of the information that they can observe about the car, they enter into a spreadsheet. And then, after all the observation is done, then they set up a 1/64 scale quarter-mile drag strip, and we have a tournament, race the cars, and they observe how their car performed. Did their car perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the opportunity, would they select that car again? Or would they make a different choice based on what they observed? In the end, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars. We learn about science. What could be better? But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is all about Aerodynamics Presents At The Track Live. What is At The Track Live? Well, before I can take all those cars into the school for the students to use, I have to make sure that I know which cars I have. I have to document and add the cars into a spreadsheet and catalog the cars, making sure that I am bringing back the same cars that I'm taking to the schools for the students to use and making them easy to find. So what that means is I go into storage. I have Hot Wheels cars that I haven't opened yet. Take those, open them up. I shoot a little video. I take a picture and then enter the information into the spreadsheet. I did that. It was boring. I wanted to come up with a different idea. So, At The Track Live was born. Each week, I get about 6 cars out of storage, crack those open. We take a look at those, do a little review. I get my picture, I get my video, enter them into the spreadsheet. But since we have the track already set up, why not have a little mini tournament? So that's what we do. We take those new cars that are introduced into the fleet, take them out to the track, have a mini tournament. But wait, there's more. Because it's live, you have the opportunity to participate. All you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live, and you'll see 3 options. One is the YouTube stream link, one is the Twitch stream link. You don't need those because you're already watching. But the third link, the third most important critical key link, is the link that says choose your car. If you select that option, you will be taken to this page. And on this page, you will see all of the cars currently in the All About Aerodynamics At The Track Live fleet. And we are up to, how many cars? We are up to 832. There are 832 different cars for you to choose from. Well, why are you choosing a car? You're choosing a car because the car that you pick will be entered into the tournament that I mentioned, and it will have a chance to race against the other cars that I have introduced. So, when you're scrolling through, taking a look, if you decide that, let's say you think this Porsche Carrera GT is the fastest car. then all you would have to do is take that number that's in front of it, in this case 233, drop it into the chat, and I will pull the car, and that's your entry. You're ready to go. You're ready to race. But let's say you're scrolling through. Let's say that wasn't the car for you. You're scrolling through and you say, oh, wait a minute. This is the car that I want. I want this 69 Chevelle. You can click on it, take a closer look. You can see the reflection and determine if it's metal on a plastic body on a metal base, or a metal body on a plastic base, or in some cases with our older cars, we have metal on metal, and those cars are heavier and tend not to do as well on the track, but that's an option for you to pick. So you have so many different types of cars to choose from. If this is the car that you want, you just take the number, in this case 352, you drop it into the chat, I pull the car, and then we are ready to go and ready to race. And there are just so many cars. There are there are fantasy cars. There are cars based on real cars. There are trucks. There are cars from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and the 2020s. And we even have a couple that are a part of the latest wave of cars that have hit the stores. So no matter what kind of Hot Wheels car you're into, there is going to be a representation here in the fleet, and all you have to do is find the one you think would be fastest and pick it, and I will pull it and we will take it to the track. If you think it's this Ferrari P4, this one's a little beat up, it's been played with, but nevertheless, there it is. If you think that's the car that could beat out the other cars that are introduced, then all you have to do is take the number of that car and drop it into the chat. I will pull the car and we'll be ready to go. We should start seeing, interestingly enough, with this Ferrari, Mattel and Ferrari reestablished a partnership, and so there will start to be more Ferraris showing up and in the Hot Wheels aisle and section. And I've seen some previews of some of the cars on Mattel's Instagram account. The Hot Wheels Instagram account has shown some of the cars that are coming, and that's going to be pretty exciting to have Ferraris back in the Hot Wheels lineup. But we have a few Ferraris in the lineup currently. So if Ferraris are your thing, you don't have to wait until the new versions come out. You can just pick one of ours, and if it's that Ferrari P4, what number was that, 375, you would just drop that in the chat. I would pull the car and we would take it to the track and see what happens. Now, when you pick your car and it races on the track in the tournament, if you beat out all of the cars that I have picked out of storage, any cars that other viewers have suggested that they want to see in the tournament, if you beat out all of those cars, then you will have the opportunity to face off against our fastest in fleet car. And our current fastest in fleet car is this one. It is the, I almost need a drum roll. Let's get to it. There we go. It is the Gazella R. The Gazella R is the fastest car in our fleet. It is the fastest Hot Wheels car, dare I say, on the planet. The Gazella R has been our champion for the last 16 weeks. This is its 17th week that it is trying to remain our fastest in fleet car. And that's significant. Why is that significant? It's significant because 17 weeks ago, the Gazella took on the BlitzSpeeder. The BlitzSpeeder was at the time our fastest car. It had been dominating all the cars that it faced, just like the Gazella, and we had a hard time finding cars to even give it a marginally close race. It was just blowing cars out left and right. And then the Gazella showed up. The Gazella challenged the BlitzSpeeder and beat it out. Races are best 2 out of 3. The Gazella took 2, the BlitzSpeeder took 1, and the Gazella became our new fastest in fleet champion. And ever since then, the Gazella's had 1 or 2 close races, but for the most part, the Gazella has destroyed every single car that it has faced on the track, and it remains our fastest in fleet champion, and it is now poised to tie the BlitzSpeeder's record of 17 weeks as champion. So weeks and weeks ago, months ago, we looked at the calendar, and I said, you know what? If the Gazella continues its championship run and is beating cars, continues to beat cars in the same way that it has been in just a dominant fashion, then when it gets to the 17th week as champion, we're going to have a rematch. We are going to bring back the BlitzSpeeder, and we are going to have a rematch, a championship rematch. The 2 fastest cars that have ever been on our track, the Gazella R and the BlitzSpeeder, are going to go head-to-head once again for ultimate Hot Wheels fastest in fleet supremacy. We're going to find out. We're going to find out today if it was just maybe a fluke, maybe the BlitzSpeeder didn't get a great launch, whatever the case is. We're going to find out today because we have our 2 most dominant cars ever going head to head. So it's going to be the Gazella R is going to be taking on the former fastest in fleet car that was that for 17 weeks, the BlitzSpeeder. And we are going to find out once and for all if the Gazella is just going to go to another level of Hot Wheels track supremacy, or if the BlitzSpeeder is going to come back like a Rocky movie and come back and take its title back. We're going to find that out. But we are also going to have other cars introduced, and we're going to find out if maybe one of those other cars can knock off one of these 2. So the Gazella and the BlitzSpeeder are going to race. We're going to have that. That's going to be a separate race. The car that comes out of that will be the fastest in fleet car and will take on the car that wins today's tournament. So we're going to introduce other cars. Those cars are going to race. We're going to see which car comes out on top. And then we're going to have Gazella versus BlitzSpeeder. We're going to see which car is the most dominant. And then that car that comes out of that matchup will take on the winner of the tournament. So we've got a lot of racing to get to. A lot of Hot Wheels action. What's up, Roughshod? How you doing? We are going to have this matchup. We've been looking at it. The last few weeks, I've been worried that that a car was going to come along and knock off the Gazella and prevent us from getting to this matchup. Usually I don't care which car wins, but yeah, I was starting to be concerned that our plans were going to get thrown off somehow, but that did not happen. And here we are. We are ready to go. So we have the BlitzSpeeder and the Gazella. That is our main event. But we are going to introduce some other cars. And Roughshod has made his pick. He made his pick last week, and it's going to be an interesting pick. We could see a grand opening, grand closing situation where the car that he picked, there's a possibility that this is going to be the first and only time you see the car, the 2 jets, on the track, because if it crashes, it's most likely done. It's an open wheel car, and we kind of know the history of that. And if you don't know the history, then we'll kind of get into it a little later when we introduce that car. So this could be a special episode all around. But we are going to jump in. I was looking for cars because I was all week I've been so looking forward to this Gazella BlitzSpeeder matchup that I kind of forgot, oh yeah, I need to pull some other cars out of storage in order to kind of round out the tournament and the field. So I was looking through the storage, and there are certain Hot Wheels cars that when I see them, I just end up buying them. All Hot Wheels has to do is just put a different paint style on there, different decals, and I just pick the cars up. And so those are 4 GT40s. And right now in the fleet, because I've been trying to avoid having too many duplicates, there are only 2 in there. There may be another one that has a year attached to it. Yeah. So there's about 3 of them in there. So I was looking through the storage and I found this one, this Ford GT40, and the reason I decided, because usually I don't like having duplicates, but the reason I decided to pull this one is because it had this little Track Aces gimmick here. Track Aces trademark, so I'm like, well, what is that? And on the back they have a little description. They've got the Track Aces logo, and it says, Planet Hot Wheels Track Aces vehicles are top performers on Hot Wheels track sets. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. It's probably marketing, but maybe there's something to it. So I figured, you know what? Since this has got a special designation, like sometimes we have the cars that are Track Stars is another of the little current version, and I believe the BlitzSpeeder had, some of them have a little logo on there, and it's a Hot Wheels track loop, and they have that little symbol. We haven't noticed that actually means anything, so I think it's just marketing. But this Ford GT40, it gives me a reason to introduce yet another GT40 into the mix. And what I mentioned about the Ferraris, even though Hot Wheels and Ferrari they're going to be new ones, but there haven't been new Ferrari Hot Wheels cars in a long time. I'm looking at this list and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different Ferraris. So Ferraris, I didn't realize I had that many, but Lamborghinis, Batmobiles, and apparently Ferraris, there's plenty of them. If that's your thing, go to AtTheTrack.live, select choose a car, find the car you want to race, and we'll pull it. But right now, we're going to take a look at this Track Aces Ford GT40. So let me crack this open. And just based on the packaging, it looks like one of those late 90s, early 2000s cars. There is, yep, 1999, the year. Let's check the weight. Now we know, just for the sake of comparison, that the Gazella is 32.5 grams, I believe. Let me double check. 32.2 is right in the ballpark. This Ford GT40, see what this thing weighs. 36.5, so that's not bad. That'll get the job done. So let's go ahead and get this thing lined up, and let's take a look. All right, Ford GT40, And let me go ahead and get ready to shoot this video. Don't need it to be 4K. And it's just a standard Ford GT40, and this one, of the ones that I have, I don't necessarily like this this paint scheme. It's not the best, but it's not bad. It's not bad. But again, the reason why I am putting this in is because I want to see if that Track Aces actually means anything. That if that label means anything, or if it is just marketing. Because at the end of the day, Mattel, Hot Wheels, they are in the business of trying to sell toys. And, you know, in order to sell toys, you have to keep cranking them out. You have to get kids and collectors to want the newest, latest things. So, it wouldn't surprise me if they if they just made up something. Track Aces, best for track stars, etc. There was one Ferrari that I bought on eBay because I'd seen on other YouTube channels that it was fast, and it was gold medal speed. I don't know what that means, but there it was. Yeah, I mean, Roughshot is right that that this car it's a little heavier than what we see typically, but it's right in that range. It's kind of on the top end of the weight range, usually between 32 and 36 grams is right about where we see the cars that do well come in terms of weight. But this one's like right at the top edge, so it's got a flat back edge, so that means it's going to have a lot of surface area pressed up against the launching block, which is definitely something that you want to see. Make sure I get that, and zoom in here a bit. Get this lined up and turn it just a bit. And now we have, let me drop some. This should highlight it a little bit better. Yeah. There we go. And another GT40 is in the fleet. This is the Track Stars version, and so I'm sorry, Track Aces. So we'll find out if that means anything at all, or it could mean nothing. It could mean everything. Where is? Oh, okay. All right, let's see what's up next. I picked up. Well, I need to check and see if we already have one of these, and you won't be able to see it because it's green and there's a green screen, so it looks gray or whatever. But this is the 65 Mustang 2+2 Fastback, and I had to look it up, and the 2+2 meant that there are 2 seats in the front and 2 seats in the back, which apparently are very small and tight, but nevertheless, that's what the 2+2 refers to. So now I just need to check and make sure that we don't have one of these. I don't think so, although it is possible. Let's see, 65 is what we're looking for. We have we have apparently 2 of these. Car number 59 and car 415. 59, so let's take a look, see how similar they are. 59, car 59, where are you? So we've got this one. Let me see, are these the same? Are they different? I'm looking at the wheels. This Actually seems a little different. Okay, let's look at car number 519. Was it 519? It was 65. 415. Car 415. Let's see what that looks like. Car 415. And right here, the Mustang Fastback. I can't. Is there some? Oh, you know what? I think there is. What it looks like is that the door on the 2+2 Fastback is a little longer, and there's not a ton of difference, but you know what? If I've got to look this closely to figure out what the differences are, and we've got 13, 14 Ferraris and a million Batmobiles, we can go ahead and have 3 different versions of the 65 Mustang Fastback. This is the 2+2 version, so we're going to go ahead and keep this one in the fleet. And if we didn't have all these other races to special races to get to today, I would pull one of those other cars, and we would have a. You know what? No reason not to do it. We're gonna pull the. We're gonna pull that Fastback. I guess it doesn't matter which one, since they seem similar. 415. I will grab that. We're gonna have a showdown, and just like a few weeks ago, if this Fastback, if this car wants to stay in the fleet, it is going to have to earn it. It is going to have to beat out this other Fastback. So I will pull that car later, and we will see if this Mustang Fastback gets to stay. So I'll crack it open and we can take a look. I won't necessarily take the video. This is a nice looking car. Let's see what it weighs. It weighs in at 35.8 grams, so it's not too heavy. And let's go ahead and take a look at this one. So there it is, the Mustang Fastback. I'll take its picture. Sure, why not? I have confidence that this car is going to earn its spot in the fleet. And if it doesn't, then it will simply just throw off my spreadsheet a bit. But hey, all right, might as well, since I'm here, might as well take this video as well. And yeah, definitely, this is one that I hope stays in the fleet, just because I like that green and white combination with the racing stripes, and it's got the little Mustang badge, the Hot Wheels badge on the back. Yeah, this is a good looking car, and hopefully it gets to stay. And if it does, then we will have 3 versions of the Fastback in here. So I will go ahead and I'll add this in. And this is the 65 Mustang 2+2. 2 seats in the front, 2 smaller seats in the back. Fastback. And I didn't check the manufacturing year, but we'll check that out. And I liked it on this one. They actually put, it's got a plastic, it's a little hard to see. I'll show it in a second. They added in some details. So the grill right there is, it's actually plastic. On the other cars, it's just painted, the metal is just painted. So, yeah, I'm hoping that car gets to stay. We will find out. It's going to be Fastback versus Fastback, so I'll have to pull the other, and we will see. We had a matchup similar to this last week with these Nissan Maxima drift cars, and we had this one, and we had one that was like this off-white version, and they raced, and only one got to stay. There was some other car where we had two versions. Was it the twin mill? Maybe? Oh yeah, we had the Braille twin mill and then the other twin mill. Those raced. But yeah, in order to avoid having duplicates in the fleet, sometimes you have to have those loser leave the fleet matches, and we are going to have one today. So that car was manufactured in 2007. So we've got the Ford GT40 track aces. Let me put that in there. And we've got this Mustang 65 Mustang 2+2 Fastback, which may or may not get to stay. We have Roughshods pick, which was the two Jets, which I'll pull in just a little bit. And let's see, what other cars do we have here? Here's another green car that is it will not show up on the green screen, but I bought it. It was in this 3-pack, and I forget what the other car was, but a few weeks ago I pulled it out and we took it to the track. But I checked, and there was this Honda Civic in there, so I'm going to pull that and double check to make sure I don't already have one in the fleet. This is the 2016 Honda Civic Type R, and I'm pretty sure we don't have one of these. 2016. Nope. We do not, but we do now, and this is another car. Well, let me check the weight. It feels light. It is coming in at 30.6 grams, so it's a little on the light side, but not so light that it should be a problem. But let's go ahead and take a closer look at this one. Another green car into the fleet. Let's get the picture first. And get it lined up there. Looks good. And dropping that backlight. This little backlight, little fill light kind of helps the picture quality, and I want to make sure that students can see all the little details of the car before they make their pick. All right, and as it comes around, this is another one that I've mentioned before, that I don't know how Hot Wheels necessarily decides which cars get the extra added details. So this one, you've got the Honda logo right there in the front, the decals for the headlights, the Type R branding right there in the front. So a little bit of, well, not a little bit, a lot of detail right up front on that car. We'll put this in at car number 850. This is the 2016 Honda Civic. Yeah, they even around the back. You got the Got the brake light, the Hot Wheels logo, the Honda logo. They've got the tail lights. They really did a good job. And it's funny, this was just in a random 3-pack. So I don't know. I don't know how they decide which cars get this kind of treatment and which cars don't. But I like this one. And now, in terms of racing, the shape of it should do well. Let me double check, take a look at that back end, because that's always important. The back end is pretty flat. This car, you know, I've said this, I say this every week, this might be a sleeper, but of the cars that we have so far, with the GT40, the Mustang Fastback, I would definitely I think this car would beat those. Unless that Track Aces gimmick actually means something, then, you know, then I'll have to eat my words. But for right now, I think this Honda's got a shot. So it was manufactured in 2016. So there we go. So we've got 3 cars so far. We've got the Ford GT40. We have the Mustang Fastback. We've got the Honda Civic Type R. And now let's see what else can we add to the mix. How about go with this Corvette Grand Sport Roadster. We do have another Corvette Grand Sport in here, but it is not a convertible. So this one gets to stay, and I believe the wheels are different on the other car. So we are going to crack this open, and this is a Fast and Furious Hot Wheels Screen Time edition. No other information on the back, so we'll crack this open and take a look. All right, this one feels a little heavy, but it's not. 34.7 grams, so it's right in the heart of the sweet spot for these cars. Switch it over to put it on the stage. Let's take a look a little closer. And this one I haven't figured out. Well, we have now we can do it because we have Wind Tunnel Wednesdays, and on Wind Tunnel Wednesdays we are able to see how the air flows over, under, and around this car. And in looking at it, it looks like the way that splitter is tilted down, it's almost like this car is not trying to direct the air in the proper way. But what we have seen is cars with those openings, whether it's convertibles or just fantasy cars with odd kind of designs, the air ends up swirling around and kind of getting trapped in that open area. And how much of an impact that has on the drag and whether or not it impacts the car's performance and speed, it's hard to say, but it doesn't help, put it like that, because when we look at cars like the BlitzSpeeder and the Gazella, then what we don't see is air getting trapped. We don't see air getting stuck. We just see a smooth flow of air right over the top of the car. And so let's stop this here. Oh, hey, never ending. You're always right on time. So it's this part right here. So the air is going to come and it's going to strike the car right about here. And then what happens? So is this open? No, this grill is not open. So the air is going to hit right here, and then it's got to go over, under, and around. And this doesn't seem, the way that this splitter is kind of angled down, it doesn't seem that it's going to allow for the air to just flow underneath. Versus if you take a look at the BlitzSpeeder and the spoiler there, I'm sorry, the splitter, the air is going to be directed right underneath the car. And we see that on when the cars are in the wind tunnel. We see what happens and where the air kind of gets hung up. So it is definitely something to kind of look out for. And also when we have these areas here, typically on the wind tunnel, we'll see the air just start to swirl around and in any kind of opening, and whether it's on a convertible, the driver's compartment, or if it's just a fantasy car that has some kind of weird opening at the front. You never know how that's going to impact the overall performance. But if you would like to see, it's a good little segue, if you would like to see how the airflow is over, under, and around these cars, you can tune in to Wind Tunnel Wednesdays, which is live on Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube at 4 p.m. on Wednesday. And we put the cars into the wind tunnel and see what's what. How is the airflow over, under, and around these cars? And it can actually help if there's a car that you're not sure about. You can take a look at it in the wind tunnel and get a better idea. And we always start with the fastest in fleet car, which has been the Gazella. And so when you see how the air flows around and over the Gazella, then you can compare it to how the air flows around the car that you're considering picking, and maybe that will impact your decision in the end. Or maybe it'll just confirm what you already thought. But either way, we are going to find out how this car performs. So we've got our Corvette Grand Sport Roadster, not to be confused with the Corvette Grand Sport Non-Roadster edition that we already have in the fleet. We've got our Honda Civic Type R. We've got our 65 Mustang 2+2 Fastback. And we've got the Ford GT40 Track Aces edition. So we are 1, 2, 3. We've got our cars in here, and I see, let's see, Never Ending wants car 35. Let's go ahead and take a look and see which car that is. So we will go car 35 is the Electrack. Okay, the blue Electrack. And this is a car, I know that since I have it listed as Electrack blue, there's another one in there. I think it's red. And this is a popular pick, the Electrack. Students often pick this car. And it's a fantasy car that you just never know. You never know how they're going to perform on the track because they've got such strange lines, curves, design. They've got little extra features that you wouldn't see on a normal car. You can't always gauge and judge the fantasy cars based on the same standards that you would use to for a regular car. And okay, we've got the picks kind of flying in. So let's see. Hey, Caitlin, car 48. Let's see which car that is. And I will come here and we will take a look at the Luke Skywalker car. 48. Oh, classic. The Mach the Mach 5 rather, from Speed Racer. Okay, this is an interesting pick because I don't remember if this one is if it's like a ceramic kind of metal or if it's all plastic. I think this is the one that's plastic. So it should be light, and hopefully it's not too light, and we will pull that car. So I need to write these down because I've got a few cars to pick. We have 48, the Mach Speeder, and then we have 35, Never Ending's Electrack. We have Roughshod's 2 Jets, and then we have I have to pull that other Mustang because we are going to find out whether or not the new Mustang gets to stay. So I think we have quite the lineup. This is going to be a good race day. And let's see. So we have, let me just check the count. We have the Mach Speeder, or I'm sorry, the Mach Speeder, the BlitzSpeeder versus the Gazella. That's going to be a matchup that we are going to be looking at. Then we have the 2 Mustang Fastbacks. Those are going to have to go head to head. We've got the Honda Civic Type R, the Corvette Grand Sport Roadster. We have the 2 Jets, and we are looking good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go pull all of those cars. We'll take a quick look at them, and then we will hit the track. And since I do not have any kind of bumper music to play while I am pulling the cars, I will play the bathroom break thing. And it's going to say 5 minutes. It shouldn't take me 5 minutes to get these cars. I'll be back in a minute or two. So I'll grab those cars and we'll take a look at them. Be right back. Okay, so this is the benefit of keeping the spreadsheet. It makes it much easier to find the cars. So let's take a look at this, the Mach Speeder. Check the weight. This feels light, but it's a big car. Okay, so 28.8 grams. So it is light. It might be, I think it's probably the lightest car that we have today. But let's go ahead and take a closer look. Classic Speed Racer, Mach 5, and it's still a fantasy car, so it's hard to know what kind of performance we're going to get. I'm concerned about the weight, and the fact that it's 28.8 grams is 4 grams lighter than what we usually see. Usually you want to be in the 30s, but it's also in the back. It's got these 2 points of contact. That's what will be touching the launching block. So we'll have to see if it can get a consistent launch. So especially for the lighter cars, a good push out of the launcher is key. And we'll find out pretty soon whether or not this car, because of the weight, if it takes off, or if it can stay on the track. And we'll find out if Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go. So I love this car, and I have a larger model of it somewhere around here. All right, let's see. Next up, we're going to check Never Ending's Electrack. Let's check the weight on this one. The weight is 34.2 grams, so right in that the heart of the sweet spot. Anywhere between 32 and 36 grams is kind of where we see cars coming in doing well. So with this one, looking at the back end, this flat back end that's going to press right up against the launching block, that is definitely a positive. And then kind of looking at these channels, this would be an interesting car to put through the wind tunnel on Wednesday, which I might do if I remember. Because the question is, so there's not a lot of front surface area, which is good. We've got this smooth kind of canopy here from the, I guess, what in theory would be the hood area, just right over the top and out the back. And we saw a similar design with this kind of fin that comes up right into this larger wing. We saw that with the Bugatti Divo. You can kind of see here that it's got that same idea of this kind of fin that goes right back and then goes into the wing. So we've got the Elektrack, and I don't know. Fantasy cars are always a toss-up. You really never know what they're going to do until you see them on the track. So we've got that one. Now roughshod, this is the one that if you're here today, you could see. I don't know what we're going to see. Let's weigh the two jets. It weighs in at 29.5 grams, so just a little heavier than the Mach 5. But this is the car that Roughshod has picked, and I think this is one of those all or nothing cars. I think that if it can stay on the track and it can get good launches, then there's no reason why it might not be able to take these races. I just don't think so. In the back, we've got this little jet thing in the bottom, and then we've got this tailpipe coming out here, and that's going to be the only point of contact on the launching block, which concerns me because I don't know that this car is going to get a good solid push, and I don't think it's going to get a consistent push. And so what's going to happen is it's a light car that's going to get strange pushes, and anything can happen. And when I say anything can happen, I mean this car could fly up, hit the barrier, crash, and we know from experience that when open wheel cars hit that barrier, the axles get destroyed. And so we hope that doesn't happen with the two jets. It could happen, maybe, maybe not. We are going to find out when this car hits the track. It's probably the biggest wild card in the bunch. So we will, yeah, exactly. We will find out. We're either going, this is going to be a good series of races. And then last but not least, I pulled this Mustang Fastback. And this is the one that is going to challenge the other Fastback, the 2+2 Fastback. And these cars may be exactly the same. Let me put this one in here. I'm trying to see if there's any difference beyond just the paint scheme, and if there is, it's so minimal that I can't really tell. But these are both two good-looking cars. But the only way that the new Fastback because the Gulf livery version is already in the fleet. The only way that this green one gets to stay is if it can beat the blue one. So we're going to have, so either this green one is going to stay in the fleet, or this is going to be the first and last time it's seen. Because if it loses this race, it's going into the prize bin for students to select. So this is what we've seen, and of course the main matchup, the one that we've been waiting months and months to see, is the Gazella R versus the BlitzSpeeder, and that is going to determine which car is our ultimate fastest in fleet champion. But then again, we've got so many cars competing today that one of those cars may end up taking out the Gazella or the BlitzSpeeder, whichever car comes out on top. So we are just about ready to hit the track. And just in case this is your first time watching an all about aerodynamics at the track live race, here is what you are going to see. You're going to see our 3-camera race view, and the cars are going to start in the launcher at the top of the screen on the left. I'm going to give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, race. I'll hit the switch. The cars will come firing out of the launcher. They will come from top to bottom. They will pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left, and they will show up at the top of the screen in the middle, the center section of our track. The cars will come from top to bottom, pass out of the bottom of the screen in the middle, and show up at the top of the screen on the right, our finish line cameras. The cars will come flying down, cross the finish line, and the winning car will be indicated with a solid red light. A flashing red light indicates a car that has lost the race. So, solid red light, winning car, flashing red light, you didn't get the job done. But there is an opportunity for redemption because our races are best 2 out of 3. So after the first race, then the cars switch lanes, and after the cars switch lanes, then we run the race again. But what happens if a car crashes, especially with the 2 jets? This is going to be important information. If a car crashes, and the Mach speeder, because we really don't know, that car is so light, we don't know what's going to happen. But if a car crashes and leaves the track, then we throw out the results, we reset the cars, and run that race again. If a car crashes twice consecutively, leaving the track, it is disqualified. Because if a car crashes twice consecutively, leaving the track, then there's usually a bigger problem that is not going to be solved by just rerunning the race again. But what we have seen, and what people should hope we don't see again, is cases where cars crash but don't leave the track. So they end up upside down but still on the track. That counts. You have to, in order to get a reset of the race, your car has to leave the track. So if your car is going to crash, you want it to fall off the track so we can restart the race. So we have plenty of races about to hit the track, and I will see you over there at the track in 30 seconds. Okay, let me just test, double check the audio levels. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep, audio is good to go. So we are getting ready to start these races, and never ending. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're here, and just having fun with Hot Wheels, and on a Saturday afternoon. What could be better? All right, we have let's see, the first one we're gonna get out of the way is we're gonna get out this Mustang Fastback situation. We're gonna find out if the newest edition, the hopeful, the applicant, the car that's trying to get into the fleet, if it can make it. We're going to find that out right now. Are we going to have are we going to have a third Mustang Fastback, or are we just going to, is the number going to stay at 2? So we have the blue Mustang Fastback, 65 Fastback, in lane 1. And we have the green 65 Mustang Fastback 2+2 in lane 2. So the 2+2 is in lane 2, and the blue Fastback is in lane 1. And this is race number 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Okay, 2+2 has 1. 2+2 has 1 win. 2+2 needs 2 wins in order to stay in the fleet. So we are going to see if we are going to have that third Fastback in the fleet, or is this blue Fastback Golf, is it going to be a gatekeeper? Is it going to keep the number of Fastbacks to 2? We are going to find out. So we're switching lanes. We have the 2+2 in lane 1, needing 1 win, and we have the blue Fastback in lane 2, trying to gatekeep the green Fastback out of the fleet. So we are going to find out. Here we go. We've got the 2+2 green Fastback in lane 1. We've got the blue Fastback in lane 2. Race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Uh-oh. Blue Fastback says, not so fast. I don't want any more competition. I want to be the only Fastback. Me and the other one. Me and the yellow one. So we are going to go to the third race and find out if the 2+2 Fastback can get 1 more win, or if the blue Fastback is going to prevent that from happening and send the green Fastback to the prize bin. Here we go. This is Mustang versus Mustang. 65 Mustang, 2+2 Fastback in lane 2. Blue Golf livery Mustang Fastback in lane 1. Here we go. The winner is going to be very important. Either this green car stays or it goes straight to the prize bin. All right, here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the blue Mustang Fastback pulled out the race as indicated by the solid red light, which means that this green 2+2 Fastback is going to a prize bin. It will find a home with some all about aerodynamics student sometime in the future, and I wish it well. So that car is done. The blue Mustang Fastback did its job as gatekeeper and shut things down. So now we're moving on. We're gonna go with I've got to find out now about Roughshod's 2 Jets. So we're gonna go 2 Jets versus this Honda Civic Type R. And everyone, pay close attention, because this could very well be the one and only time that you see the 2 Jets race. It's very possible. It is a light car. It is a open wheel car. It has a weird point of contact. Those are all a recipe for absolute complete disaster. But you never know, which is why we have to take the cars to the track So we've got Roughshod's 2 Jets in lane 2. We've got the Honda Civic Type R in lane 1. We are going to start race 1 and just hope that the 2 Jets can come through unscathed. Here we go. Race number 1. 2 Jets lane 2. Honda Civic Type R in lane 1. 3, 2, 1, race. Woo. Okay, so the 2 Jets hung on. It just wasn't fast enough to beat the Type R, but it had a good solid run. I'm kind of surprised that it got a pretty good solid push, and we will see if it can switch lanes and pick up a win and force a third and final race, because that is ultimately what it will have to do if it wants to move on and possibly become the car to end up as our fastest in fleet. All right, let's do this. We're going to put this 2 Jets in lane 1. Lane 1 is where the Forky car from Toy Story, the open wheel Forky car, blasted into the barrier, bent its axle, and was never heard from again. We will see how this plays out. But, all right, we've got the 2 Jets in lane 1. We have the Honda Civic Type R in lane 2. Let me get it. Car rolled forward a little bit. As I mentioned, it's important that the cars are pressed up against the launching block, because when they if they are not, then the launching block punches the cars out instead of pushing them out, and there's a big difference there. All right, so we've got the cars lined up. The Honda Civic is in lane 2. 2 Jets is in lane 1. The Civic is up 1 race to none. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. So the 2 Jets stayed on the track, but it didn't have enough to take out the Civic. And I think, for the love of God, stay on the track. It stayed on the track, but I think it may have ultimately suffered from the same thing that we see with the lighter cars, is that ultimately the drag gets them towards the back end of the track and starts to slow them down a little more than cars that are slightly heavier. So there's that. All right, let's see. We're going with the Mach 5. This is another one I'm curious about. The Mach 5 versus the Corvette, what was this? The Corvette Grand Sport Roadster. So the Mach 5 is another car it's pretty light, but typically when we see the lighter cars, they're smaller. This Mach 5 is pretty big, or at least it's a longer car. But I think just all the plastic on the body just serves to lighten the overall weight. And as a matter of fact, it's plastic on plastic. That's why it's so light. It's usually the cars will have a plastic body on a metal base, or vice versa. This one is plastic on plastic, which I need to double check, because if this is not a Hot Wheels car, we may have to throw a flag on it, but it is in here now, and we're going to have this race. So the Mach Speeder is in. Why do I keep calling it's not the Mach Speeder? The Mach 5. The Mach Speeder is a different car. The Mach 5 is lined up in lane 2, and the Corvette Roadster is in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Mach 5 takes it, and double checking. Yep, this is a Hot Wheels car, so there's no issue there, because I usually try to avoid having those off-brand cars that tend to be pretty extremely light, and it's just I want to keep it Hot Wheels. I want to keep it Matchbox, and eventually there's a couple of other brands we have to test out, but for the most part this is all Hot Wheels, all Matchbox. And the Mach 5 just took that first race. If it can repeat that, then it will be moving on. And I think the fact that it was able to stay on the track at this lighter weight, this may be the car. Like, we're looking ahead to that Gazella BlitzSpeeder matchup. That's important, but I can see at this point, after just one race, the Mach 5 coming out of this, and with that size and that weight, this could be the car that ends up being our champion, but that's a little ways away. Right now we're getting ready for race 2. We've got the Mach 5 in lane 1. We have the Corvette Roadster in lane 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the Mach 5 pulled it out, and I think definitely what you saw there was that the cars were relatively close through the first half, 2/3 of the track, but then it looked like the Mach 5 just went into another gear and pulled up. But we know that's not what happened. It didn't get faster. What actually happened is the Corvette started to slow down. Those forces of drag, the forces of friction, forces of gravity are all working on these cars. And a heavier car versus a lighter car, gravity is going to have an impact, and also could be drag, because the Mach 5 does have a really good aerodynamic profile. You start to see at the back end of the track what looks like one car speeding up and another car slowing down. What it is one car slowing down, the other car maintaining its speed, and that's just what happened. The Mach 5 opened up a lead at the end, and it is moving on. So next up, we're going to have this Ford GT, the Track Aces car. We're going to have that against Never Ending's Electrack, and we are going to find out if that Track Aces designation, does it actually mean anything? Does it mean anything at all? Track Aces, Track Aces. It could just be a marketing gimmick, or maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's something different about the design, about the components used. Maybe it has the nickel-plated axle to allow for less friction and the wheels to spin more freely. I don't know. But we've got the Electrack in lane 2. We've got the Ford GT40 in lane 1. Race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the Ford GT40, the Track Aces car, hit the barrier of the cars that I thought would hit the barrier and crash. That was not one of them. I didn't have that. But let's see, once we reset these cars, if we can keep this Track Aces car on the track. And I think part of being a Track Aces car, I think part of the job description is you've got to stay on the track. So we've got the Electrack back in lane 2. We've got the Ford GT40 Track Aces edition in lane 1. Get this thing set up. And we are ready to restart this race. So Electrack lane 2, Ford GT40 lane 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And the Ford GT40 crashed again in exactly the same way, and it is eliminated. There is something going on. I'll have to look at it with a slow motion camera, but anytime a car crashes exactly the same way twice consecutively, number one, it's disqualified, but more importantly, it just suggests that there's something about the combination of the launch the car is getting and the launch it's getting and what it's doing on the track, that just rerunning the race isn't going to help solve the problem. So let's see. We are going to go Mach 5 versus Electrack and see which of these two cars can take it. This Mach 5, I'm thinking this car might end up, when we wind up at the end of these races, the Mach 5 may be the car, because I didn't think with as light as it is, I didn't expect it to really stay on the track and have this solid of a performance, what we saw in the first race. And also because it only has those two little points of contact at the back end of the car. So I didn't know what kind of launches it was going to get. But here we are. We've got the Mach 5 in lane 1. We've got the Electrack in lane 2, race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Woo. It was very close, but the Mach 5 took it, as indicated by the solid red light. So the Electrack was hanging in there, but just couldn't pull it out. And I'm thinking now, this is a situation where this Mach 5, the weight is looking like it's a benefit. I think it's a combination of the weight and the design of the car. It's got a good aerodynamic profile. It will definitely be a car on Wednesday that I put into the wind tunnel so that we can take a look and see how the air flows over, under, and around this car. And it is a convertible, or more a race car. It's got this open driver's area, and typically what we've seen is that the air swirls around in there and possibly gets trapped, but it doesn't seem to be impacting this car's performance at all so far. So we have the Mach 5 in lane 2. We have the Electrack in lane 1. The Mach 5 is up 1 race to none. Let's see what happens. Three, two, one, race. Woo. And once again, what we've seen is that race was very close, and then towards the back end of the track, it looks like the Mach 5 is picking up speed, but it's not. It's just that the other car is slowing down, and the Electrack slowed down less than the Corvette, but so it wasn't as noticeable, but it did happen. So we now have the Mach 5 versus the Civic Type R in our finals matchup, and one of these cars will go on to take on the winner of the BlitzSpeeder versus Gazella. We have the Mach 5 in lane 1. We have the Civic Type R in lane 2. We're ready to go. This is our finals. Mach 5 versus Civic Type R. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. That race was even closer, but the Mach 5 took it. the Mach 5 is one win away from taking on the winner of the Gazella versus BlitzSpeeder rematch. And I think those cars need to be worried. I was coming into today, I was thinking that, well, we won't need to, you know, I expected the cars in the tournament to perform. And I expected us to find a winner. But I didn't think that we were going to find a winner that was going to put both the BlitzSpeeder and the Gazella on notice and in danger. But I think we may have found it, or we didn't. Caitlin found it. So here we go. This is race number 2. This is the Mach 5 in lane 2, Honda Civic Type R in lane 1. The Mach 5's up 1 race to none. If the Mach 5 takes it, it's today's champion. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. The Mach 5 is the champ. The Mach 5 took that race, and there was no question about it. It was close. The Civic Type R did well, but it did not beat out the Mach 5. And the same thing, the back end, the weight of the Mach 5, it is not being it's not as impacted by drag as some of its other competitors, because with the 2 jets and some of the lighter cars, usually drag is the thing that slows them down towards the back end. They're just not big enough. They don't have enough weight behind them to keep up that momentum. But with the larger cars, gravity is the thing that gets them, in addition to drag. But the Mach 5 has sort of defied all of those preconceived notions about how cars perform, which is why I always say we have to take the cars to the track. We can have all the ideas that we want, the theories, the hypotheses, but we got to take the cars to the track. So the Mach 5 is sitting here waiting for the winner of this matchup that has been months in the making. This is the rematch. This is the Gazella R, our fastest in fleet champion for 16 weeks, versus the BlitzSpeeder, which was our champion for 17 weeks. So can the Gazella defeat the BlitzSpeeder again, to sort of underline and underscore the fact that it is the fastest Hot Wheels car going? Even though the Mach Speeder is sitting there like, yeah, I don't care which car wins, I'm taking either one of you out. But we're going to find out. We've been waiting on this matchup. The Gazella R came in. I picked it up when I was out of state for Thanksgiving. Came back, set it up first week of December, and it hasn't looked back. It's just been destroying cars left and right. It beat the BlitzSpeeder, which was shocking at the time. We have this rematch. We've been waiting months. We've been looking at the calendar, waiting for this matchup. It is the BlitzSpeeder returning to the track for the first time in 16 weeks since it last was here and defeated. The BlitzSpeeder is in lane 2. The Gazella R is in lane 1. This is race number 1, champion versus champion rematch. Here we go. Gazella, lane 1, BlitzSpeeder, lane 2. Three, two, one, race. The BlitzSpeeder destroyed the Gazella in that race. Now I will say, when the Gazella came out, it was, for the first quarter of the track, it was on 2 wheels. And it took a little bit for it to settle down and get back on the track. So it came out of the launch, it got a bad launch. And that happens. But nevertheless, it was beaten. And when you're at this level, cars this fast, you have no room for error. you can't have a bad launch. Like, that just cannot happen, because it will put you in a hole. And the BlitzSpeeder is ready to go. The BlitzSpeeder took that race, but albeit the Gazella had a bad launch, a very bad launch. So Gazella better get it straight, or it's going to be out, and the BlitzSpeeder will be returning as champion. So we've got the cars switch lanes. We've got the BlitzSpeeder in lane 1. We've got the Gazella in lane 2. Can the Gazella force a third race? We're going to see. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. There will be no third race. There will be no anything other than a acknowledgement of the BlitzSpeeder having reclaimed its title as fastest in fleet car. That race was not close. The first race, the Gazella got a bad launch. So, okay, you can throw that out. But the second race, no issue whatsoever with the launch. The BlitzSpeeder just took it out. And if you think back over the last 17 weeks, we haven't seen any cars really be competitive with the Gazella. Like, not at all. But the BlitzSpeeder made it look easy, like light work. So the BlitzSpeeder has reclaimed the title by defeating our fastest in fleet champion, the Gazella. And the Gazella did work for the last 4 months. It has been beating cars into submission. Now, here's the thing. The BlitzSpeeder is our fastest in fleet car. However, the Mach 5 just put on a crazy demonstration on this track and showed that it's got a combination of size, aerodynamics, and weight that could knock the BlitzSpeeder off just minutes after it won the matchup. So we're going to line these cars up, and we're going to find out the Mach Speeder, after all these weeks and all this time, we may go from Gazella being champion to BlitzSpeeder being champion to the Mach 5. I keep calling it the Mach Speeder because there is a Mach Speeder, but the Mach 5 could be our next champion. So the Mach 5 is going to be set up in lane 2. The BlitzSpeeder is set up in lane 1. If I can get it to stay put, we could have this could be just a wild chain of events depending on how this turns out. All right. BlitzSpeeder's in lane 1. The Mach 5 is in lane 2. After 4 months of just dominance of the Gazella is out. Can Caitlin's pick end up knocking off the car that finally knocked off the Gazella? We're going to find out. Race 1, Mach 5, lane 2, BlitzSpeeder, lane 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. That was stunning. The BlitzSpeeder, I think the BlitzSpeeder, it's almost like it's been sitting around for the last 4 months training. It's like a Rocky movie. It's been sitting around training, thinking about its loss, thinking about what it did wrong, and now it's got this opportunity and just destroyed the Mach 5 in that race. I mean, that was not anything what I was expecting. Maybe the Mach 5 got a bad launch. It's best 2 out of 3, so we're going to change sides of the track. We are going to put the Mach 5 in lane 1. If I can get it lined up right. Mach 5 is in lane 1. It is ready to go. The BlitzSpeeder is in lane 2. If the BlitzSpeeder takes this, the BlitzSpeeder will confirm the fact that it is our fastest in fleet car, period, once again. So, Mach 5 lane 1, BlitzSpeeder lane 2, race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a new fastest in fleet champion for the second time. This is the BlitzSpeeder's second time as our fastest in fleet champion. I'm going to gather these cars up, take them back into the garage. We're going to take a look at the cars and sort of talk about what we just saw. So I'll be back in the garage in about 30 seconds. And there it is. The BlitzSpeeder has come back. And, I mean, left no question, no doubt. It avenged its loss. And, I mean, that was not even... Those races were not even kind of close. The Gazella got a bad launch in that first race, and it went up on two wheels and then had to correct itself. And that's the case for just about every car that we race. Every car, the launcher shoots the cars out with so much force that most of them kind of fly into the air, and then that's why I have that acrylic cover over the top. Most of the cars fly into the air, hit that acrylic cover, and then come back down onto the track. When they come back down onto the track, what they do from that point is critical and key. And what we'd seen with the Gazella is it had the ability to have one of those really turbulent launches, but then it corrected itself very quickly and then went down the track. This time, it had a weird launch and kind of went up on two wheels, but then it came back down. The problem is with the BlitzSpeeder, over there, with the BlitzSpeeder didn't have any of those troubles. And the BlitzSpeeder kept going. So while the Gazella was trying to correct itself, the BlitzSpeeder was still going down the track. So that first race was an absolute complete blowout, which I get. Okay, that's what happens. You can get a bad launch. And I think that may have happened with the BlitzSpeeder the last time those cars raced. The second race, they switched lanes. And, I mean, the BlitzSpeeder destroyed the Gazella. And we've never seen that. We just haven't seen it. We've been watching the Gazella for month after month after month, week after week. And we've never seen a car just obliterate the Gazella like that. Even when these two cars raced before, it was 2 races to 1. So it was still kind of somewhat close. This was not. And then we get to the matter of the Mach 5. The Mach 5 is an interesting car because it's so light. And like I said, lighter cars, there's two ends of the spectrum. There's the heavy cars and there's the lighter cars. And they both end up being affected at the back end of our track, but in different ways. So with the heavier cars, as I mentioned, I believe it's gravity that is actually ultimately the force that is slowing those cars down. Now, of course, they're all impacted by drag and trying to minimize drag, but with the heavier cars, you notice that they start to slow down toward the back end of the track, and the other car looks like it's actually speeding up. That's not the case. It's just the heavier car is slowing down, so it looks like the other car is passing it by. With lighter cars, it's usually drag that starts to slow them down at the back end of the track. And they just don't have the weight to kind of keep pushing through and keep up the same momentum as the other cars. The Mach 5 is interesting because, let me put it in here, I think its aerodynamic profile is just a lot different than the lighter cars that we see. It's a bigger car, it's longer, and it's a little wider. Typically, if we see cars that are light, they're small, kind of like the two Jets. They're smaller cars. But this car, with all the plastic, because the base is plastic and the body is plastic, it's just a light car. But aerodynamically, I think that drag didn't impact this car as much at the back end of the track. And so on Wind Tunnel Wednesday, at 4 p.m. on Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube, we're going to put this Mach 5 into the wind tunnel and see exactly how the air flows over, under, and around, because this was an impressive car. Probably the fastest, lightest car, the fastest light car. Of the lightest cars, this was the fastest. It's the fastest, lightest car, whatever. Either way, it had an impressive performance. And based on what it was doing, I thought, okay, this car has this combination, this unique combination of a good aerodynamic profile and a light weight. It's going to do something. Well, it did something. It challenged the BlitzSpeeder, and the BlitzSpeeder weighs in at 32.4 grams. But the BlitzSpeeder, when I talk about there's a sweet spot in terms of weight, it is in that 32 to 36, and preferably you're closer to the 32. The Mach 5 is 28.8 grams, and so it's giving up that weight, but the BlitzSpeeder is just, I mean, those races weren't close. They weren't close. And we know for a fact that the Mach 5 is a fast car, but those races were not close, and the BlitzSpeeder is back. This is going to be trouble and a problem for these other cars in the fleet, because the Gazella was just obliterating every car that it faced. And then today wasn't its day. Maybe it's just one of those things. It just wasn't its day. It didn't get the right launch. Whatever happened, and the Gazella is now out. And once again, our first two-time AtTheTrack.live fastest in fleet champion, the BlitzSpeeder is back, and back in a real way. So at some point, I think the Gazella is going to exercise its rematch clause and want to go to the track again, and that'll be the third matchup. The first time the Gazella took it. The second time the BlitzSpeeder took it. So I think we're in line to have a third confrontation somewhere down the line. So great job for the Gazella these last 4 months. It's definitely, other than the BlitzSpeeder, has clearly been the fastest car on the planet. But it's a new day. And let's see. Never ending. I'll have to take some time and study the cars. Yeah, I think that what happens is as you watch these races, you start to see trends and which style of cars, which type of cars do well on the track. Now, the one thing that you can't account for, obviously, is the weight, and so that's always something that you don't know about when you're just looking at the cars to pick them. But I would say that as you're looking through the cars, so for people who don't know, you can go to AtTheTrack.live, select the choose your car option, and it will take you to the page where you can select your car. This page, all of our cars are listed, all 800, and pretty soon there will be 836 because that Fastback Mustang is not going to be in the fleet. But when you're looking through the cars, you have an idea now of the style of cars, the type of cars that do well, or maybe you can pick something totally out of left field. But now what you can do is look through the cars, and if there's a couple of cars you're thinking about, then come back on Wednesday, Wind Tunnel Wednesday. We take the cars, put them in the wind tunnel, and you can see a close-up look at how the air flows over, under, and around those cars. And if you compare it to the BlitzSpeeder, if you compare it to the Gazella, then you can look at your car and say, okay, it's got the air is flowing in a similar way. It's got, whatever features you're looking for. And then the wild card is going to be the weight, because you're not going to know about that until it's time to race. But visually, you should be able to kind of focus in. And I've said it before, we have 836 cars. Of those 836 cars, there is likely to be a car that is faster than the BlitzSpeeder. But until we find it, the BlitzSpeeder is the champ. And maybe you can find it. And here's the other thing. I've mentioned that the search function on the website is broken, and the company that hosts the website doesn't have any plans to fix it. So if there's a car that if you collect Hot Wheels and race Hot Wheels, and there's a car that that you want to see race, a car that is fast, then all you have to do is, instead of just scrolling through 800 plus cars, you can just send me a message, a DM, and let me know the name of the car. I will check for that and let you know if I have it. If I don't have it and it's not too expensive, then I will go. I'll go on eBay and I'll buy it. So it's not unheard of. I've done it before. So this has been a big day. A new champion. The same but different. This is the Scupa de Fuego. That was the car that Roughshod picked last week. And this little dip right here in the front, when we put that car in the wind tunnel, we just saw wind swirling around in that little pit right in front of the windshield. And I don't know how that may have impacted the car's performance. Plus these two little vent things over the just in front of the rear wheels above the fender. How much those impacted the car's performance, I don't know. But those are the kind of things that you can check out on Wind Tunnel Wednesday. Put the car in, you can see what happens. And beyond that, this was another interesting one. This Cadillac V16. This is one that we put into the wind tunnel. We put it in forward, which is the way you're looking at it now. And aerodynamically speaking, it was terrible. This huge front surface area was sort of trapping the air, and then it would fly off the car in all kinds of directions. But when we turned the car around so that the back end was in the front, then the aerodynamic profile got a lot better. And this is the car that I had. had pulled out, but we had so much going on today that I didn't get a chance to race it. But I think next week we're going to race this car, and we're going to race it backwards to see if that actually makes a difference in terms of its performance. So that is something to look forward to. But yeah, there are hundreds and hundreds of cars to choose from, to pick, and you are welcome to scroll through, find the car you want, and then we will pull that car and race that car next week. If you would like more information about all about aerodynamics, about Wind Tunnel Wednesday, or about our science program, all about aerodynamics and how to bring it to your school or your organization or your special event, you can just go to the Instagram account, AA Aerodynamics, or you can go to our website, AAAerodynamics.com, and all the information you need is there. It's I recently made some changes to the website, so it's a little more streamlined, and all the information that you need about our program, our science program, is there. And if you have questions, you can send me a message, and I will be happy to respond. So we've got a new champ, but new but the same. So we will see. I'll go into storage. I'm gonna find some more cars to pull out to challenge the BlitzSpeeder. Hopefully you scroll through, find the cars that you want. I saw that Roughshod is going with the Carbide, which I just put away a little while ago, but I think we put that one in the wind tunnel, and it's kind of a fantasy F1 type style car. So we'll see how that performs on the track. And yeah, there is a lot going on, and I'm looking forward to trying to find a car to beat out the BlitzSpeeder, or at least be competitive. Let's start there. I mean, beating the BlitzSpeeder might be thinking a little too big. How about I just find a car that's competitive, and then once we do that, then maybe it can beat the BlitzSpeeder. But for now, the BlitzSpeeder is our champion, and good day of races. So thank you for watching. If you want to watch any old episodes and see that last matchup of the BlitzSpeeder and the Gazella, all of our episodes are listed on our YouTube channel. I go in and I put time codes and list the cars that are featured, so you can just click and go right to the race that you want to see or the review that you want to see, or you can watch the entire episode. They're all there and all listed. This episode will be up. It'll be up immediately, but I will add in all the information and time codes in the next couple of hours. So, good race. For AtTheTrack.live, for all about aerodynamics, and for Wind Tunnel Wednesday, I am Coach James, and until next time, I will see you at the races.